Hi everybody, welcome to Bookworm's Palace, a supposedly cooler palace today. But I'm still waiting, anxiously looking out the window, hoping for a cloud to bring some shade. Dragon Man was on time for school today, regardless of the fact that many roads are blocked off in preparation for the Arts Festival. I was wondering why the traffic was so horrendous yesterday. No, and of course, with the roads blocked off today, it was even worse. But we made it. Yay! Yippee for Grandma. A bit of sarcasm is quite fitting for today's video. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room. I checked. So many people and creators have already reacted to the fact that Harry and Meghan were off the royal website for about half an hour. Back on, off again, and then back on. Actually, I'm not checking the website every day, but a friend of mine told me that the website had obviously been worked on for about a week now, as profiles, bios, and articles came up, disappeared, popped up again with different photographs, etc. Okay, but the fact remains that Harry and Meghan are not off the website. They are back on with a combined profile, much shorter than before, I would say, and as a result, many are shouting from the rooftops that they had been demoted, relegated to the bottom of the heap below Andrew. Blah, blah, blah. Now, I do not agree. Respectfully, I guess, I do not agree. I see this as further gaslighting by the palace, likely as a result of the amount of renewed pressure they are receiving from the public after Meghan's launch of her merchandising website and social media influencers style Instagram pages, etc. Also, remember that whatever goes on that page, at the very least, goes out with the approval of the king. Obviously, he is not doing any of it himself, but at least it is either discussed with him or shown to him for his approval or likely suggestion. So, in short, before I even discuss this further, I think this summarized bio of the couple is just some more gaslighting. Either you support them or you don't. But let's not act like children. Let's calm down and dissect it. Well, lately, I don't have the attention span of an amoeba, so I apologize. I'll take a deep breath. Okay, let's scroll and take a look. It starts off with, as announced in January 2020, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have stepped back as working members of the royal family. Well, my first objection is obviously to the titles and the fact that there are no names, and the same mistake is made everywhere else. For instance, on the bio of the Duke of Gloucester, for the official website, he should have been Prince Richard, Duke of Gloucester. I scrolled through Prince Andrew's write-up and bio, whatever you want to call it, and his actual name is not mentioned once. On the official website, he should have been Prince Edward, the Duke of Edinburgh, or HRH, Prince Edward, the Duke of Edinburgh. Anyway, obviously my further objection is that Harry and Meghan are still the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. They are not doing anything for Sussex. Meghan is not even a British citizen, and they now live full-time in a non-Commonwealth country. Amen End of story. Those British titles should be put in abeyance, not today, but more like yesterday. It is becoming a joke and embarrassment for England. The couple married in St. George's Chapel, Windsor, on the 19th of May 2018 and have 2 children, Prince Archie Sussex and Princess Lilibet Sussex. Okay, now here I have a huge issue, and the issue rests on the legalities. We are told that both Archie and Lilibet are dual citizens, correct? Well, if correct, then the laws of the United States are also applicable to them, correct? Okay, this means that each of them should have a birth certificate, a social security number, and or a passport, correct? Well, guys, please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments section below, please. But let's move on in the meantime. As far as I know, these days, parents apply for their children's social security numbers soon after birth on the same application as they do for a birth certificate. Now, please tell me whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong. Anyway, assuming that I'm correct, then for the purposes of an American birth certificate and social security number, both Archie and Lily should have at least a first name and a surname. Now, fake or not, the last birth certificates I saw for Archie and Lily named them Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor and Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor. So before anyone, including the royal website, can call them anything else, I, for one, want to see the official documents for name change and or the newly issued birth certificates from both countries. And without that, this website, and by implication the king, is guilty of fraud. No one in this world can just assume another name and go on to live with it. Of course, I'm not talking about nicknames like Harry. Harry's passport still states his real name's Henry Charles Albert David. The other issue is the fact that the children are titled, but worse than that they are in the line of succession. Now, succession to the British throne is determined by descent, sex, legitimacy, and religion. Under common law, the crown is inherited by a sovereign's children or by a childless monarch's nearest collateral line. The Bill of Rights 1689 and the Act of Settlement 1701 governed the line of succession until the 26th of March 2015. In 2011, the Prime Ministers of the 16 realms agreed unanimously to amend the rules of male preference, which means that males born after October 2011 no longer preceded older sisters, and the ban on marriages to Catholics was lifted as well. The changes took effect on the 26th of March 2015. However, does this mean that the laws pertaining to legitimacy, descent, etc. has changed as well? No. As a matter of fact, even though the ban on marriages to Catholics were lifted, the monarch or sovereign, and it still states, and I quote, the monarch still needs to be in communion with the Church of England. Yes, my friends, the Bill of Rights and the Act of Settlement still rules the line of succession and were purely amended by the Succession to the Crown Act 2013. So, what does the Act of Settlement say about legitimacy? Let me read it to you. I think it's clear enough and does not need any explanation from me. The Act of Settlement provides that Protestant heirs of the body, or then the legitimate descendants, are eligible to succeed to the throne unless otherwise disqualified. The term heir of the body, meaning, and then it goes on blah, 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 and then the important part, children born out of wedlock and adopted children are not eligible to succeed. Illegitimate children whose parents subsequently marry are legitimated, but remain ineligible to inherit. Now, we are all guessing that both Archie and Lily were the products of a surrogacy. Now, in England, surrogate or children born from a surrogate needs to be adopted. So they will be seen, although they may be biologically the children of, say, Harry and Meghan, if they were not born from her body and they were born from a surrogate, it means that in England they would have had to be adopted, which means they cannot be in the line of succession. Anyway, there was an amendment to the Legitimacy Act in 1959, but it did not change the heir of the body clause at all. So, my friends, legally, constitutionally, and every other alley you can think of, unless or until a properly signed proof of life, a properly signed original birth certificate for both Archie and Lily can be provided, not only to the Crown, but also to the public and citizens of Britain and its realms, those children cannot, and I repeat, cannot be in the line of succession. Forget about what they are called. Michael Jackson called his one son Prince. It does not mean that he is in the line of succession. So, if Charles allows them to be called Prince and Princess, then that is on him. But the line of succession is governed by law and not by Charles. And if there was a name change from Mountbatten Windsor to Sussex, then those legal documents should also be available for public scrutiny for as long as those children are in the line of succession. End of story. That is the law which Bookworm did not write. Now let's get back to the website. The next subheading is about the Duke of Sussex. It tells about Harry's birth, his tours to Afghanistan, Centre Bali, Invictus, his overseas visits as a working royal. The next subheading reads about the Duchess of Sussex. It tells about her career as an actress and Suits, complete with a photograph of her on Suits, and it talks about her lifestyle blog, The Tig. Then it gives a short one paragraph on her time as working royal and mentions her patronages, the National Theatre, the Association of Commonwealth Universities, SmartWorks and Mayhew. And then below the bios it reads, information about the current work of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex can be found on their official website, sussex.com. And if you click on that sussex.com, it takes you straight to Harry and Meghan's new Sussex website. Now I'm asking you, what better endorsement, link, and source of traffic can anyone ever hope to have? Please, anyone in PR and marketing, tell me, please. I guess maybe a link from, say, a Taylor Swift website. I don't know. But what I do know is that there are many people who would have paid hundreds of thousands of pounds or dollars to get this kind of referral and endorsement, and as a matter of fact, has in the past paid like £200,000 to sit and be photographed next to Charles. I mean, go read about Fawcett and Higden and how they sold Charles, obviously with his encouragement and approval, to the highest bidder. And now, my dears, I'm going to tell you that I think Harry and Meghan were indeed notified about this change weeks, if not months ago. And that is why they launched Sussex.com when they did, and why it looks like an extension of the royal website, in my opinion. And while we are on the subject of Sussex.com, did you notice that they expanded their profiles with links to their charities, in inverted commas, and other business endeavors? Yes, these links obviously include Invictus, Travelers, Centre Bali, Wild Child, African Parks, Better Up, Aspen Institute, Archwell Foundation, and Archwell Productions. So, the royal family website is indeed now linking to, advertising, and endorsing actual for-profit businesses like Better Up, Archwell Productions, and Travelist, which has not as yet been turned into a non-profit, but which is still a limited company. Now, royal warrants are one thing, but royals, or then the titled royal family, are not allowed to endorse any profitable business by using their status or titles. So again, let me read something to you to prove to you that I am not sucking this out of my thumb. Last year, the ASA, the Advertising Standards Authority, provided a revised guidance ahead of the coronation. So I'm going to condense it into a few sentences. If you want to know more, you can go Google ASA plus coronation, because that's all I did, okay? 1. Advertising rules make it clear that members of the royal family should not be shown or mentioned in marketing without prior consent. 2. Incidental and generic references unconnected to the advertised product or service may be acceptable. Well, my dear friends, linking Sussex.com is not incidental or generic, is it? Number 3, and here is a very, very important one. Brands should also avoid any implication that products have been royally endorsed or are official memorabilia if it is not the case. Now I'm asking, how about Meghan using a crown and her title for her merching site, American Riviera Orchard, or Aero? Are you looking at that, ASA? Number 4, royal arms and emblems. Using the royal arms or emblems may imply the product was royally endorsed, and that should not be done. I'm asking again. So is the royal family now actually endorsing Meghan's coming products? What more can I say, folks? Placing this link to Sussex.com on the royal family website opens all kinds of doors to exploitation. The next subheading is titles, and explain their titles gifted to them by the Queen, and mentions that Harry was made Knight Commander of the Royal Victorian Order by Queen Elizabeth II in 2015. Harry is so far removed from being a knight. It is actually hilariously funny. And then the last subheading, statements and announcements, where it links to the statements issued by Meghan and Harry on the 8th of January 2020, the statement issued by the Queen on the 18th of January 2020, and the statement from Buckingham Palace issued on the 19th of February 2021. So yes, all in all, combined, their bio is longer than that of, say, Prince Edward, for instance, or the Duke of Gloucester. So, you want to call it a demotion? I don't think so. Grand advertising? Yes, indeed. Shame on you, Buckingham Palace. You are cheapening the monarchy more and more every single day. Okay, guys and girls, this is not the video I wanted to do today. I actually wanted to show you something I found when I was looking for information on Michael Hurd. But under the circumstances, we will leave that for tomorrow. So until we meet again on the next one, please take good care of yourselves. Bye.